Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to episode 24 of the Spare Change Challenge. I've just been playing here a few minutes on Ignition Casino, and once again playing 10NL. Hoping to run good today, as always. If you followed the last episode, we did not run so well. We ran about as bad as you would expect to be able to run in a session, and we were only down not too much. So we're going to turn that around today, and we're going to have a plus $30 day and move up to 25NL. How's that sound? I wish I could make that promise. But we're just going to play the cards as they come, play our opponents, and as always, the chips will fall where they will. Okay, so preliminarily, the tables aren't looking too bad. Don't have many reads yet. Top left looks like it may have a fish or two on it, perhaps. Top right, possibly. Bottom right, no idea. Bottom left, maybe these two guys. Of course, to my left. It's uncanny. Maybe we'll turn that around one day. In fact, these three might be, and that's fine. I mean, there's certain advantages to having a nit to your right as well, because maybe he won't pound on your blinds. I think the worst case scenario would be nits on your right and aggros on your left, though. I certainly could open the ace-6 suited here. I don't have reads that these guys are necessarily fish. However, this guy is $3, so I'm going to give him that preliminary read, and I think a suited ace is fine under the gun, especially if these players do turn out to be tight. We do get 3-bet, however, so this is an easy fold, and I like the fact that this guy flatted the 3-bet. My hand's still not good enough to call here, but I like that read that I might be playing against a weak player to my right here. Unless he's absolutely just trapping. I mean, that's possible. Could have a strong range here, but unlikely. To be flatting in the small blind, you should probably most of the time just be trapping. It's kind of hard to play that in a position to call with even a hand like 10s or jacks. But his 9 was good. So I'm wondering if this guy just had a complete bluff there. But I am going to get to see his cards so we can get a preliminary read on whether this guy is 3-betting light. Could also have had ace-jack or something like that, but that's still kind of a bluff. He did have ace-10, which is definitely a bluff. So we'll give this guy a preliminary read that he's 3-betting light. He could be one of those players that if he's going to play a pot, he's going to 3-bet it. That's means we can widen our 4-betting range, certainly our value 4-betting range, as well as our bluff 4-betting range. I think against a 67-0 with a small blind limp, we can just ship our king-queen here. This guy's never going to have anything, and we just have to... We can certainly get called by worse by this player. And if he calls with a weak ace, he calls with a weak ace. I'm sorry, guys, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I definitely have a little cold, so I apologize if I'm rubbing my nose a lot, blowing my nose. I'll try to put my mic up so you can't hear me. I do so. But once again, I apologize. I'll bet a little large here to try and discourage floats. I do have a gut shot and backdoor flush draw here, so I'm just going to bet normal. I don't necessarily mind a call because I can barrel a lot of turns, and that's one of them. Gonna blow my nose, I apologize. Wow. Be glad you did not hear that honk. It sounded like a herd of geese just went through my room. Or at least one big goose. Maybe not a herd. Is it a herd? Gaggle? Gaggle. There you go. Herd of geese. Interesting spot here. I mean, a lot of this guy's range is not going to be able to continue on this board. There are some drawing hands. I have a blocker to a few of those combos though. Actually going to just bet. If he has a better queen, it's just unfortunate here. But I think I have to bet there. There's a lot of cards I don't necessarily want to see on the turn. There's 6 overcards, 8 overcards, 6 or 7 if he has the overcards. It was likely 7. And there's obviously some gutter balls and things like that that could get there, and we could be in an awkward spot. If he pots the turn on the river, we'd obviously have to call it down. But I think it's better off just doing a little protection there. We could certainly run into some worse queens there. Wow, interesting flop here. Very interesting flop. I think we just have to bet. If he has a flush or a straight, we're just beat. I think there's a lot worse hands that can raise us without necessarily... we don't necessarily have to be beat when the money goes in there. We're going to get off this table. It's looking like a bunch of... well, they're nits, but I'd rather find some fish. There's a lot of possibilities on turns on this board. We are facing a station, however, but I think a small bet's still better. We could check this back in position against this player, but I think we actually have to bet on as played. Interesting turn because we pick up potentially 4 outs. Well, definitely 4 outs. I think we have to bet. We have to set up some bluffs on the river. I think we can bet pretty small though on the turn and give ourselves a good price. We could I guess an aggressive player, we certainly could check shove this turn. I think it's profitable to do so. We have potentially 10 outs there. And we could get snapped off by a worse straight draw or something like that as well. So I don't hate that play, but against a passive player like this, it's generally not good because if he bets, the money's probably going in and a lot of times we'll be crushed. Or at least be up against some kind of one pair type hand. This table's not shaping up to be great, so I'm probably just going to dump that one as well. I think I could bet for protection with my ace-10 here. I'm going to do the same on the bottom left. We certainly probably have the best hand a lot here. He could have some small pairs, but I think we have the best hand often enough that we need to bet. And I think it's a good turn card to bet on this board. We can get value. Still get sometimes some values from some worse hands. But we want to I put pressure on a 9 and obviously just set up a cheaper showdown for ourselves here. And obviously 8-7 is unlikely, but it did get there. So I think we're going to see 5s here a lot. Ace-6, something like that. I think we're good enough, often enough to just check back. We don't need to turn our hand into a bluff. Wow. Is this yesterday all over again? Hope not. Wow. Just calls with this 3-outer and hits it like a boss. So let's see here. So we definitely want to keep in mind that we do have a fish behind us here. So we need to size our pre-flop bets accordingly. So I'm going to 4x this pre-flop because I know this player's playing a lot of pots. And this is going to make this hand play a lot easier out of position. Unfortunately, he does not play. But that's okay. We're still... Now we're guaranteed position in the hand. And... unfortunately, our array size is going to make these guys fold a pretty wide range. I mean, fold some of their tighter hands as well. There's worse hands that can raise us here on this flop. However, we have a lot of blockers to those hands, so I think we can safely just bet. And even bet fold sometimes. I like the small bet here, though. Like I said, there are some hands we do have blockers to. If he happens to have a king here, he's just probably going to have us. I think we have to call him in raise, though. I think he could be raising with like ace-10 or a heart draw, or... I mean, queen jack's not completely out of the realm of possibility. I think obviously we have to just put it in now. If he had a gut shot, it's just cooler. We can pair the board. He did end up with king jack, which is unfortunate for him, and a little bit of a cooler on the flop for us. But I think that hand was pretty easy to get away from on most turns. We just happened to bank, so we'll take it. And we'll try and find some tables. Yeah, so he's probably going to think he was unlucky on that hand, but hey, he's the one who hit the 3-outer on the flop. It's not my fault, you know, that he's sucked out. He could have just as easily hit his jack and the money goes in, and we're a huge favorite, so, you know, just feel lucky you were up against the short stack. Yada yada, right? I'm not going to feel sorry for anybody. Nobody told him to flat king jack out of position for a 4x raise. That's that's a pretty big mistake anyway in itself, so it's his own damn fault. But we like the fact that he flats those hands out of position against an early position raise for 4x, because we can profit. Keep trying to get on the same tables, dagnammit. Very good flop to lead here, as we've discussed. It's gut shot. We also have the backdoor flush draw. So we're going to do that. And obviously it's awesome to take a hand down with 9 high. Just a comment about yesterday. I know that I ran bad, but I was thinking through some spots that I played on rivers, and I think I was not playing my A game yesterday. And in general, I think that's the problem. I think that's the biggest problem I have, is when I'm tired or not on my A game. For whatever reason, I have trouble with later street play. I don't plan my hands as well. And I think it all stems from not planning my hands very well on flops, and sometimes even pre-flop, and I just think it puts me in awkward positions or situations that I don't need to be in. I think a lot of those rivers yesterday I probably could have avoided by checking back flops, betting bigger on flops, raising a little bigger pre-flop, not flatting here, not that I did a bunch of that, but maybe tightening some ranges here, loosening some ranges there, you know. I think I put myself in a lot of awkward spots. It just were not necessary. I'm going to get on this table even though it's low VPIP just because I like the name. Piggly Wiggly. Oh, you piece of... I hate it when it does that. Oh, I lost my Piggly Wiggly. I want a Piggly Wiggly. Anyway, Piggly Wiggly is a grocery store in the South. I guess it's just the South. Some of you probably aren't familiar with it, but it's kind of a funny name. When I was a kid, my grandpa on my mom's side, we called him my pawpaw. I think because his grandfather was maybe full-blooded or half Indian. Anyways, he's got the name pawpaw. Long story. I've got other stories that relates to that, but that's for another time. At any rate, he called it the Hoggly Woggly, and I just thought that was the funniest thing ever. So that's why I kind of have a special place in my memories for that grocery store, which I probably haven't stepped foot in a Piggly Wiggly for maybe once in the last 20 years, 30 years. There are not that many of them around. I think there's one within my region, but I haven't seen it in a while. But they're mostly located in Mississippi, Louisiana area, I believe, maybe Alabama. I went to school in South Mississippi. That's why I'm intimately familiar with the Piggly Wiggly. I'm going to flat on the button with the ace-queen offsuit and a vacuum here. This is an excellent board to float because all those overcards, which I'm beating most anyway. I think this is more protection type bet. And we could also sometimes get him off ace-king, and it could also be for value if we get floated by a backdoor heart draw with like ace-jack of hearts, king-queen of hearts, something like that. He certainly could just check full deuces as well. Threes, not likely, but possible. Looks like games are a little bit limited today. We've already had to leave a couple of tables because the dynamics were not great. This one is kind of iffy here so far. This one is iffy, but maybe okay. We're just not seeing those 70 zeros, 44 tens, those types as much as we would like lately. So, I don't know. I guess 10 and L is a lot tougher than it used to be, which makes sense. I'm going to just set up a better SPR for myself by 3xing it at the cutoff with the king-queen. I might start doing a little bit more of that. We can certainly get this guy off better hands by betting. I think he has to connect with this board to continue most of the time. Not that his range doesn't necessarily often connect here, But I think ace highs put a lot of pressure on like pocket fours, those kind of hands. Well, I know we've been on these tables recently, but maybe they will now have seats available that we can get on. I don't know if it's been 5 minutes. I lose track of time. And there we go. Get 4 more tables back up again. I have to cough. Okay. And I probably am gonna, there may be some silent periods today. My throat's a little scratchy. One of my daughters had strep throat, and God forbid I get that, but I hope I don't. But I still have a little bit of a scratchy throat, so I apologize if I'm a little quiet often today. I may, as a rule, just do that, and you can just, I'll talk when I'm actually making decisions, but try not to do too much filler stuff, so. But don't let me discourage you from asking questions or something. Not gonna ship the ace-10. This could be trappy. This guy's 33. It's a small sample, but Floppa got shot. I am going to try to get him off his small pairs that he may have limped. And we have outs, potentially. Well, definitely 4. He's going to hate this flop quite often. Yeah, so can we get him off a jack by the river? Maybe. Maybe. But I think if we bet the turn, we have to bet the river. What do I do here? I had a preliminary read. This guy could be trapping, so I guess since he could have a stronger range, he did call my flop bet. I may just check this one. Fold. I could definitely see this being like an ace-king, pocket queens, which he's going to be sticky with. Certainly aces, right? But he probably raises the flop there. Can we call this 3-1? We have a dirty gut shot. I think we'll just let this one go. I think we had enough fold equity on our flop bet that, and 10% of the time we're going to turn our gut shot. Another 7, so 17% of the time we're going to improve that on that flop. That with fold equity included, considering he's folding probably all of his small pairs. So I think it makes it profitable just a 1 and done that one. We don't need to go crazy. This is a defending type hand. If I was in the big blind, I think I'm going to let this one go though. And I'm going to probably get off this table. Once again, it's just not looking good here for the home team. And really though, maybe I overdo the table selection a little bit at 10-0 because I know most of these regs are probably pretty bad. But it's just hard to extract money from a nit. At least the Maniac regs, you can, they're gonna let you get the money sometimes. They're gonna make bad turn and river decisions as well. But it's just so much more profitable to play a 50-0 than it is a 35-25 like this guy. Like, if I play on a table with these guys, I might get lucky, even if they're bad, to have like a 3 big blind win rate. But versus a table or just several passive bad players, I mean, the sky's kind of the limit. You can have a 25 big blind win rate if you had a table full of those guys. It's just, there's just no comparison. Kind of a dry board. I could see us getting floated a lot. There's going to be some awkward turn cards. Any 10 or higher, or any jack or higher, I'm sorry. It's hard to get 2 streets out of this. I think this guy could probably bet and call it off, though, with like 6x. Considering he would probably think I would lead with a 9. And also, a lot of players are just calling blind versus blind to try and take it away. He pots it, so I'm just going to get it in. And hopefully he just has nothing and he folds. Well, I guess nothing and folds better than being beat. But I'm certainly just going to jam now and hope that he doesn't have a better 9 or some kind of trap. Whatever, though, I think the hand plays much easier. I mean, that's actually a play you prefer to do on a draw-heavy board, but there's so many bad runouts and people like to float in that spot. I'm certainly going to call on with the ace-jack suited. Since this guy just lost a pot to me, he may be more willing to get involved if I get involved, and I definitely want to play pots with this guy, because now he's 60-0. So let's see what happens. It's obviously not a great flop. I'm not even going to bluff if it checks to me here, just because this guy we just played a pot with may be pissed and bluff raise erroneously. And certainly we're folding if this guy leads. We don't even have a backdoor flush draw here, so we'll just fold. Probably going to ISO the poster here, especially if this guy limps. This guy's probably got nothing going to fold, and then we're just playing against this guy, and we got tight players behind us potentially. I could 3x this to create a better SPR, but I think I like just keeping a small pot. I don't mind bigger SPRs against bad players. Yeah, we're definitely doing this as planned. I think it's got enough fold equity pre-flop, so we do get 3-bet by this player. I mean, do we just give him credit? I think we just have to give him credit the first time. I know he could be tilting or whatever, but we don't necessarily know that, and he is 67-0 over the first 7 and 6 hands, so I have a very good hand, but against his 3-betting range, it's probably not great, unless he is bluffing, which, if he is bluffing, whatever. So he shows an ace, which is fine. I like that he showed the ace of clubs too, because if he happened to have a suited ace, we were in up shit creek. That's fine. We're not going to raise the 7-5. We're actually going to play pretty tight here for a few moments while we decide whether to say. We're staying just because he's 71-4, and those type of players are pretty sparse. We're going to lead, try and get him off something we are losing to. And certainly we can do it with equity here. 5 on the turn would be nice. Anything above a 10 would be nice. Actually, 10 would be fine. I think he's going to fold the majority. He doesn't have that many jacks in his range. Do we just barrel off here? I think we just barrel off because he's got so many draws that are just going to whiff this river. And we could get him off a 7 or an 8 potentially. That's a really good card because all of his draws are now going to fold. We're just trying to get him off. Well, you know what? We're beating some of his draws. We're trying to get him off a 7 or an 8 here. I think he should fold those hands now. It just looks like we have him beat. The way we play, just bet, bet, bet. And sometimes he'll have a hand like ace-10 that's beating us, so kind of forced to bet there, I think. Piggly Wiggly's back. It's even higher VPIP now. Let's get it, baby. Come on, come on. Yeah. Piggly Wiggly. Cool. Not going to stab at this. I'm just going to give up with the 9 high. Just have zero confidence to get anybody to fold anything. So, oh, look at this. Ace King. Let's go. Certainly going to ship. Hopefully we get a flat first. Do we get thin? Go for thin value here. We get maybe a 5 or something. I think so. Just min bet. I mean, certainly these people are going to have queens here as well, but I think maybe somebody bets a queen on the turn. He should be betting a queen on the turn, but he didn't. That's okay. It was 10 cents. Not worried about it. Here's our buddy. What do we do here? I guess we have to play a pot with him. Just because we have to play a pot. Just checking. Wow. So we already check shoved one time. I don't think we're going to do it this time. I think we're just going to bet. We certainly could consider that, but seeing as the history we have of this guy, he's probably not going to fall for it again. And so if he bets, he's probably just got something. And we're just going to be getting it in versus something like, I don't know. Yeah. We certainly could check shove this turn. I just think we need to keep building a pot, though. We can't have him check back an 8 or something. We need to be able to shove this river, or have a chance of shoving this river. It's gonna fold here. Hopefully, it just raises our weak bet on the turn because it looks weak. Should look weak. Only betting 40 cents. I'm gonna limp to King Jack. Bluff raise, value raise. I don't care what he does. So yeah, we get what we expect. I mean, not expect, but we should feel like we're inducing against this player given our history and everything. So he looks committed now. I don't want to call and just allow a diamond to peel off and then maybe he gives up the river. I think it's just better just to ship it now and hope he has a queen or something like 6-4 or anything, you know, anything that can call me. And not 5-7 of diamonds. That would be very unfortunate. I'm not going to stab. I'm just going to take my 2 overs to the turn. Gonna defend here with the ace-8. I'm gonna call and then probably raise a later straight. We have clubs. Probably have the best hand. Wow, he folds. That sucks. So what did I say there? I guess we should have called, right? Really good hand to pick up kings here. I'm just gonna protect my hand, assuming he's just check folding here most of the time. He could fold ace-9 or something like that. Not likely, but possible. Do we just flat this and give this guy a chance to 3-bet? He said he had 2 pair on the turn, which I highly doubt. He's not folding that. Yeah, right. I am actually... it's kind of iffy here. I'm going to flat, just with this dynamic here. I normally wouldn't. But anything I do here is going to look strong. I mean, I think raising is going to look way too strong. Unfortunately, we have this guy come along and he could hit this board. Definitely hit this board. Do we have to raise, though? I think we have to just raise and get it in. He could have a diamond draw, ace-6 or something he's going to get it in with. It's a pretty lousy turn card. I can see a lot of 2 pairs and such right here. This guy could definitely have pocket 8s or something. I mean, I just can't see that we're ever good here. It just sucks that that turn card and that run out came. I doubt he's doing that with pocket queens or something. I think he just flats there. So sometimes bad runouts happen. And not a big deal. Just folding here. Yeah, I regret my my non-shove pre-flop. Well, maybe it worked out for the best, you know. Maybe he had pocket 8s and he was going to snap me off and I lose the whole pot, you know. I lose my whole stack, so you never know. You have to look on the bright side, right? He did re-raise a very dynamic turn in a 3-way pot, so yuck. This table's probably not very great. So we'll find a better table here. Go ahead and get off of this table as well. Every time the fish seem to be in my left, I think we're just better off moving to a different table. Getting a more ideal situation. Always be striving for that. I think it's just a little bit too weak to play the 8s there. Not the best spot. Can't shove, can't really call. I guess that leaves one option, right? Table's pretty crappy, I think. How many hands do I have? Too many to stay. Poor Piggly Wiggly, I had to leave it, sorry. Nope, nothing else. Tons of games running, but none for me. Couple 9-handed games, but yeah, I guess we'll last resort that. The Sneeze from Hell. We'll just take a peek at this 9-handed game real quick, see how it looks. See how the stack sizes are. Bunch of full where it would be directly my right. This seat I would take, this one I'm gonna pass. Gonna pass. There's potential with this table. This guy's got 21 hands and he's 57-10. And I'm down 11 cents. Yuck. Another award-winning bad table. Potentially. Something major doesn't happen right now. That's the way it looks. I'll be opening the King 4 if it folds to me, but that's never going to happen with these guys. He's not loose enough to defend with the 7-4. Plenty of 25 NL tables. Yeah. Guess we'll just fold our piddly 9-5. Here's a new table, if I can get it. I got it, but the short stacks are to my left. As always. Seems to be the theme of the month. Bad seat selection. This is nearly an any 2 4x here. There's a newish table starting. Let's see if anybody sits with this guy. If he was maybe like a 628 stack or something, I'd sit with him, but he's a full stack, so I'm just gonna wait, see if it fills. This guy peels. Very weird. I'm gonna check back. Pick up a gut shot. I'm gonna have to bet to protect. On the turn, I probably have the best hand. He's gonna hate this turn card a lot. So even a better ace high, I'll fold here probably. All his other random crap that I can protect against. Somebody sat down on this elephant table. The one I was just on that had the 10 stacks sitting there. He sat with 8. Let's see if anybody else sits and what their stack is. Oh, my open-ended royal flush draw. Well, I do have a royal flush draw. Why has he got up at 50 cents? I can't fold a royal flush draw. It's not a 2-card royal flush draw though, so even if I got it, I wouldn't get the bonus. There's a bonus on ignition if you get a royal flush. I'm gonna go ahead and fold it. And that's really the only thing I have going for my hand there. And if an ace of spade comes, not likely gonna get action anyway. Okay, let's see what this guy's stack size is. This guy's looking like he might be a little fishy. I'll just take this seat and see how it works out. This guy's pretty tight. I think just a small bet's better than a shove against the tight under the gun range. Try and make him make a big mistake. This guy donk bets again. I think I'm just gonna have to min raise my king high. Although this isn't the best board to do it on because he does connect with this board a lot. But he's donk betting again, and I think he just falls there a lot. He just happens to have some. If he donk bets again, it's just frustrating. I just have to give up. I think I'm just going to take it to the river here, because I can bet that card, however. If he checks. I can get him off a lot of his hands he would have called the flop with. I think he calls with a 9, but maybe folds an 8. Or maybe he just has ace-9 and I get pwned there. It's a really horrible flop, honestly, because I think king-queen is in his range a lot. But certainly king-jack could call here. The thing is, if he has a hand like 10s, he's not going to call. I guess jack-10 could be in his range, but I do have aces. So if he has 2 pair, I have outs. I just have to bet 57 cents and see if he can somehow make it look like I have tens or something and hate my hand, or jacks. I'm sure jacks might continue here sometimes, but they're probably 4-betting, so I think he just gets it in with queens or kings. So I mean, it's possible he has one of those two hands, but I have aces. It's a SPR of 1. I'm never folding on any flop. Ouch. So yeah, a lot of hands in his range just got there. Queen jack, king jack, jack 9 potentially. Not likely. Pocket jack certainly could be in his range. Do I just have to check back? And I think he's going to check down a lot with me as well. Maybe he somehow has like ace queen here. I think he checks that down with me. That's actually a pretty decent card for me. I think he's just going to have queen X with no straight here a lot. Or deuces, that works too. I think I have to just get it in on this turn card, but I think I'm good here often enough that I can just check call it off. Is that 10 cents? Yeah, I'm just going to call now. I'm going to bet for a small amount of value here. Did my guy leave here? I guess so. It's kind of a bad bet size though, because I think he could bluff. Well, I don't have enough behind for him to bluff raise this, so. But doesn't he bet the turn with higher than? Could he just have the queen of clubs here always? Is that just what he's got to have? Do I look like I have enough behind that he can bluff me here? Or does he even realize how much I have behind? I mean, it's just so polarizing. He's got to have exactly the queen of clubs. What hand on the flop would have the queen of clubs? But I just have to pay it off with my stack size. I guess I do. So, yeah, what an idiot. Sorry, if you're watching and you're this guy, I don't really mean you're an idiot. I just think it's a bad, very bad bluff. Because I can't fold any club there. I just priced in. So, in hindsight, I kind of like my bet sizing to induce by worse hands. Something to consider. I guess it's kind of a mergy play to induce with such a weak, maybe not super weak flush. But he had a flush there, so I mean, just a call makes perfect sense for him. He's going to be good there a fair amount. So I get a better 10 to fold, unless he somehow had king 4 or king or 10-4 or 10-3. That's a really weird fold, but I guess I don't blame him. I'm in position, right? So he's got to face another barrel often, so I think it's okay to fold there. Just the power of position is illustrated right there for you guys. How did we get so short up here? I forget. This might be a good table. This one probably not so much. No, we do have this 50-17, however. A couple unknowns here. We just limp here. This guy's not tight enough. I mean, loose enough. We get led into with a gut shot and middle pair by a fairly passive player. It's kind of a gross spot because we have a lot of equity. Potentially could have the best hand, but we do have this player still behind. I think against this player we just have to stack with the ace queen in the cutoff. Just, I mean, he's 66, 29, 11, 3-bet. Ouch. 4, please? Nope. But flip's okay. I mean, he shouldn't be 3-betting and getting it in. I'm just going to call one straight. I think it's fine. Wow, that's the danger of flatting here. But I mean, whatever, right? Another crazy sneeze. 6 to 1, huh? And what do we have to hit a gut shot? How often is that going to happen? 4, 9%. 1 in 10 times, 1 in 11 times. Implied odds. Could a queen be good? That just barely make it okay. We have a 10, so it's hard for somebody to have Jack 10. Peel time, I think. And hell, we could still have the best hand here. It's not likely because this guy's definitely going to bet anyway. So it's kind of... Maybe... I could see some scenarios where Jack peels and we get paid off. Now he bets so tiny. I mean, is this just got to be Jack 10 of diamonds? For him to bet that small? But once again, 10 to 1, and that's the price I need for a gut shot. But of course my gut shot's dirty. I mean, this is just milking the hell out of us, right? There's some scenarios where it checks down now and I'm good. I mean, it's not likely, but it's possible. Yeah. Damn it. Now we don't get to see it until tomorrow. That's terrible. Alright, well. Well played, sir. Yeah, Jack 10, wow. I'm glad he showed that. Wish I'd folded now. It made sense, but man, I got a freaking 10, right? This goes to show that people aren't bluffing that much. They just seem to have it when they raise. But I think we had the right price, considering that Jack 10 doesn't have to be the only hand he has there. He could certainly just be bluffing with a diamond draw and then trying to see a cheaper river. I guess we have to fold up here. We're in position, but our hand really is dominated sometimes. And oh yeah, he's a short stack, so yeah. I guess I should have just shipped pre-flop if I'm gonna do that. But I doubt he's bluffing there, so it's fine. I don't know where this guy might be trapping this guy, but I'm going to go ahead and ship the king queen. Make it look like I'm on tilt. Maybe you call me with king jack. Who knows? Fold this. I can see this guy having a pair and calling. Okay, we'll take the flip. Any heart, please? That'll work. That will work. Yeah, he's trappy player. Mr. Trappy. Trippy Trappy. That'll learn you. Man. In position, three-handed pot with a fish in the pot with queen jack. I guess we have to call this. I don't like it, but I have to do it. I think we're getting the right implied odds to flop like queen jack or trip jacks or a straight draw or something like that. But we're definitely checking this back. I don't think he's gonna like do this with ace king and now fold, so fold equity is not non-existent. I think I'd rather just... Hand might be a little too weak to do this anything with, so I'm just gonna check back and maybe hit a queen or jack. Yeah. If it was 6-4 deuce, I think we could have just bet the flop a lot. But I think as played, we just have to check it down. Hopefully this guy doesn't have ace queen. Or some trippy, trappy queens or something. Well, see, we gotta call this. Son of a gun. I could definitely see him value betting. Well, kings he doesn't check on the flop. Queen. I guess it either has ace queen, king queen. That was a light 3-bet, or he has pocket eights. No. Pocket 5, no. Ace 3, maybe. No. Well, ace 3 suited. I mean, I got a call. Obviously, I hit the best card for myself, so you know he's maybe repping an over. Yeah, he's repping an over card. So it worked out. I feel like I slow rolled him there, but I'm trying to talk through the hand. He doesn't know I'm making a. I'm twitching. It's kind of a spot where he's polarized though. Either has a queen or doesn't. I mean, ace queen, that's the only hand he could have if he's 3-betting a normal range, so. And I have a queen, so it makes it hard. Man, sinuses are killing me. I hate to just make this an hour session, but it might be in the cards for me. Yeah, I think I'm going to just cut this short and just go another 10 minutes or so. I don't think it pays for me to be playing too much when I'm sick. Probably not thinking too well. Yeah, probably just go rest and eat something, try to get better. It's not a bad cold, but I mean, I'm on cold medicine. It's probably like drinking and playing poker. Probably about the equivalent. So hopefully it doesn't get worse, and hopefully today's the worst day, and I'm back on the path toward recuperation now. This table's pretty crap here. Pretty much crap. So I may just be one tabling here at the end. I'm not gonna try and bet this Jack 10 board. If there's ever a board to check back, it's that one. We could have some showdown value. I think we have to just check it down now. He's gonna have some ace highs, but whatever. Yeah, it's unfortunate he has ace high. I don't think he's folding that on a paired river, so no point in betting. Unless we did some weird overbet and he's willing to fall for it. I think this is a good board to see bet. Queen 6-4. Kind of tough for anybody to have anything there unless they just exactly have a queen. They're probably going to fold in a three-handed pot. I'm just going to leave that table now. Not that great. I mean, that guy's pretty good to play against. In fact, I think I might just end it now. There's no other games to pull up right now. Yeah, I'm just going to call it a day. I think I can go ahead and end this one now. I think I'll be in the big blind next hand, so we'll see though. Just make sure. But I think this is small blind, big blind. This guy just sat down. All right. Go ahead and call this one. We're back at 129. I did play a little bit earlier today. I didn't twitch for that one, and I played a little bit. In case you guys don't know, I'm not streaming all of my play, just probably 90% of it. I do play some in the mornings sometimes, and sometimes late at night. But it's like 30 minutes, 20-minute sessions. It's not even worth pulling Twitch up or recording it or anything. Just in case you see me log in with a different amount, but I logged off with last time, just to make that clear. Yeah. So I'm at 129. My peak is what, 134. So we're back to within 5 of my peak. So I guess we're up today. I don't remember exactly what I started with. It was somewhere between 120, 124. So we're up between $5 and $10 today, which is good. I mean, 2 to 3 buy-ins at an hour. We'll definitely take that. I'm gonna go ahead and go get some rest. Thanks everybody for watching today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk to you again soon.